Pikachu, I choose you. Pikachu, use Thunder Shock now. Alright, Pokeball, go! Yes, I got it! I got it! Great job, Pikachu! Yes, we got Oddish! Come on, Pikachu! What's going on, guys? It's the Little Skater, and today we are going to be discussing a topic that I'm very passionate about, and that is Pokemon. So before becoming a skateboarder and becoming passionate about skateboarding, I loved Pokemon, and that was a very central part of my childhood. And I noticed that as I skateboard and interact with the skateboard community and watch pro skaters, I realized that I make many connections between skateboarding and Pokemon. And a lot of the lessons and the concepts I learned from Pokemon, I find myself applying to skateboarding. And so today I am going to discuss those connections and concepts and how I connect them to skateboarding. So let's get into it. So Pokemon was something that I loved my whole life, and actually in the manga Pokemon Adventures there's a character named Gold who rides a skateboard, so maybe that was foreshadowing of some kind. But anyway, the first concept that I learned from Pokemon that I also apply to skateboarding, and I just apply it to life, is participation is better than winning. Now, our main character from the anime, Ash Ketchum, never won a Pokemon League. He traveled to so many different regions, but he did not win until he traveled to the Alola region, participated in their Pokemon League, and became the world champion. So it took him traveling everywhere and working so hard in each region and leveling up only to be disappointed to not win. But when he traveled to the Alola region, he leveled up his Pokemon, he finally became a world champion. And so that just shows that participation is better than winning. He wasn't just doing it to win. He loved Pokemon. He loved training them. He loved participating. Even though he didn't win, he kept going and he didn't give up. And that just shows me that participating shows how much you love something, but it doesn't matter if you actually win. So I would like to do a competition one day, but I haven't gotten the chance. But I would like to do a competition one day. I participate in any game of skate, and that just makes me feel like a worthy skater. Even if it's just a bunch of people, a bunch of friends, just doing game of skate, I try to participate every time and just have fun with it and not worry about winning, because just participating in it makes me feel like a worthy skater, makes me feel like I'm part of something and I'm really participating in the skateboarding community, I guess. So watching Pokemon has shown me that just participating in the thing that you love shows that you really love it and that you're here to do it because it's fun and not just to win. The next concept from Pokemon that I apply to my skateboarding is doing something for experience. Now, let me explain for a second. In Pokemon, as an RPG, you have to keep battling and training your Pokemon to level up so they can become stronger and learn new moves that are stronger than the moves they had previously. So when I skate, I'm still kind of consider myself a beginner, intermediate-ish. So I try to learn every basic trick there is, even if I'm not necessarily motivated to learn it. So nollie front and back 180. I don't really like those tricks, like they're just okay, but I do the tricks and I learned them for the experience so I can level up, because if you learn all of the basic tricks very well, then harder tricks will be easier for you. So even though I don't really care for those tricks that much, I still learn them and I still practice them because I know that getting good at the basics, it will help me level up, you could say, to learn more advanced tricks. So that's why I find myself, well, I just gotta learn it for the experience. So similarly in Pokemon, when I'm playing it, I'm like, okay, let's just battle this trainer for experience. I'm kind of bored, I'm kind of tired of grinding, but let's battle this trainer to get more experience. So getting more experience to level up is important, so I also apply that to my skateboarding, and I learn tricks that may not be the most exciting trick, but I learn them to get experience and level up so I can get the harder ones. Another thing that I learned from Pokemon is how important friendship is. So as a kid, I really just thought, okay, well, friendship, you just play with people and, you're just playing around with them and whatever. But like, I never really understood the value of friendship, and Pokemon really taught me the value of friendship. And I find that friendship is also really important in skateboarding, because if you have friends who encourage you, who hype you up, you hype them up, and it's just a mutual encouragement, it makes you a better skateboarder. Similarly, if you also make friends who are better than you, then you'll kind of absorb their talent and you'll become even better. Since they're better than you, they can give you tips and help you level up your skate skills. So in Pokemon, Ash travels around the different towns to get the different badges, and he makes new friends, and he makes friends with his Pokemon as well. So then his Pokemon, if they have a good bond with him, then they will be more motivated, they'll be more happy to listen to him, and they will do well in their training, and they'll do well in defeating all the gym leaders. So he has a good bond with his Pokemon, and he has lots of other friends who are humans, like Brock, for example. Brock is a gym leader. He clearly has more skills than Ash, and so he advises Ash and, can give him tips because he's more knowledgeable, which will help Ash become a better trainer. Similarly, if I'm friends with somebody who's a better skater than me, she can give me tips and help me become a better skater and level up. So seeing that in Pokemon, seeing the value of friendship and how friendship helps Ash, that helped me also understand that it's similar in skateboarding. Having friends is going to help you in skateboarding as well, just like it helps Ash in his Pokemon journey. The next concept that Pokemon taught me was to have goals in life. So as a 10-year-old, you don't really have goals in life. You're just living life, doing whatever. You're a kid, right? But when I saw Pokemon for the first time and I heard the words, "I want to be the very best like no one ever was," I was like, that changed my life. It suddenly occurred to me that you're not just floating through life, you should go through life with a goal. So Pokemon really taught me to have goals in life, and so with skateboarding, I also have goals in skateboarding. And if you're a younger kid who just started skating, Pokemon I think can be kind of an encouragement, because if you're a young skater, you can aspire to participate in Street League or win the Olympics. So, that idea of I want to be the very best that no one ever was, or like no one ever was, that can maybe encourage you as a young skater to be like, I want to be the very best, not in Pokemon, but in skateboarding. So I think Pokemon really teaches never to give up and to have goals, and so that can really encourage you as a skater. For me, I'm a bit old, so I may not be winning Street League, but I can make my own goals that I can aspire to and never give up and try to achieve those goals. Because if Ash didn't give up on his goal of becoming a Pokemon champion, who am I to give up on my little skate goals or my big skate goals? So Pokemon really teaches to never give up and to have goals in anything that you do. I think those are the main concepts and lessons that I learned from Pokemon that I apply to skateboarding. But just overall, like as a kid, I always wanted to live in a Pokemon world. Like sometimes when I see something in skateboarding, I'll be like, that's giving Pokemon. Like, for example, you know how skateboarders like to explore? Skateboarders like to explore with their friends and find new skate spots to skate. And that reminds me of Pokemon, because Pokemon trainers travel from town to town trying to defeat the gym leaders. And sometimes they explore and they find new Pokemon, they catch new Pokemon. And it's just like that exploring aspect in skateboarding just reminds me of Pokemon. And it's just like, well, I can't live in a Pokemon world, but like I can still travel around and explore and have fun with skating, which is not quite the same because there's no creatures we're catching. But, it gives a good vibe and it reminds me of Pokemon. Or also another thing that reminds me of Pokemon is like, when Street League skateboarding goes to the different countries, you as a skater, you have to travel there too. And it really just reminds me of like how Ash would travel to different regions to participate in the Pokemon League there so that he could try to win it. And so like when I watch SLS, or I watch like an interview of a skater who's traveling around to go and participate in SLS, it just reminds me of Pokemon and how like Ash used to travel around. I'm just like, do you feel like you're in Pokemon? Like, you're not participating in a Pokemon competition, but it's a skateboarding competition, and it's like kind of similar, you know? So just that kind of reminds me of Pokemon too. It's just random aspects of skateboarding also just remind me of Pokemon in some way, and I just think that shows like the strong connection that like I make between the two, like in my head. So it's just something else that I think about. Or like when you're really grinding to try to get a trick that you want, it really just reminds me of how Ash would train his Pokemon, and he would be like, yo, like, come on, you gotta do this. And he would, like, you know, train with his Pokemon so that they could learn a new trick. Well, for them, it's a new move. So he would, like, train with them so that to encourage them to learn the new move. So, like, when I'm grinding it out and trying to learn a new trick, it just, like, reminds me of that too. So it's just, like, random aspects of skateboarding remind me of Pokemon, and I, like, make connections between the two, like, when I'm practicing. It's something I always think about, but I wanted to share it with you guys. But anyway, that's all for this video. I just wanted to share these connections that I make between Pokemon and skateboarding in my head. So what are your thoughts? Tell me your thoughts in the comments section, and please like the video, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye! Pikachu's saying bye too. Bye! So I'm in Four Tree City right now, and I need to defeat the next gym leader. She's pretty hard because she has an Altaria, which is a dragon type, and so the only thing that can take down a dragon type is either an ice move or an ice Pokemon. And I don't have an ice Pokemon, but I do have an ice move. My Swablu has Ice Beam, which I plan on using to defeat her Altaria, except for my Swablu isn't that leveled up yet, so I'm gonna have to face her and see how far I get to determine if I need to level up Swablu some more, or I'm good enough and I can just use Ice Beam and try to get her Altaria to be defeated. So overall I have 5 badges. I need 3 more to get 8. But that's where I'm at. After I get the last 3 badges, after this gym, I'll only have 2 badges left to get. I'll get those 2 badges, and then I will face the Elite Four. And so yeah, that's gonna be pretty epic. But that's a little update on where I'm at in Pokemon Sapphire.